Hey guys, this is Spencer from Pixel and Bracket, and in this tutorial I'm going to show you something I discovered accidentally the other day in Photoshop, and that's how to make custom shapes. So the tool we're going to use is one I've just completely dismissed for one reason or another and ignored it over time. That's in the shape tool. So if I click and hold on this rectangle tool, the shortcut key for whatever tool you have up here for the shape tools is U. But if I come down here to the custom shape tool, I always thought this little blobby looking thing meant that I was going to create something like a custom shape out of lines, kind of like with the pen tool or something, and curves and such. That's not really what it is. I get the same properties. I can choose shape, path, or pixels. I can adjust the fill or the stroke and then a few other options. But over here there's a little shape drop down, and this shape drop down has tons and tons of different symbols. For instance, I can select these music notes here, and if I click and drag holding shift, remember if I don't hold shift it's going to skew it, but I can create a music note shape that creates a shape layer in my layers panel. All these points are directly editable with the direct selection tool, so I can click on the direct selection tool, click on a point and drag it out if I wanted to edit a point on here or delete points. You'll see maybe there's some instances with some of these shapes you might want to do that. If you select a move tool, you can move this around just like any other layer, and this is a filled shape. If I go back to my shape tool, I could change it to a stroked shape just by changing the properties up here, as long as I have that layer selected down in my layers panel. And you'll see now that's a stroked version of the music notes. This is pretty cool. I didn't realize Photoshop had all of these sort of default elements. In fact, there are even more than what you see here. If you drop this down and drop down this little gear, you can actually select all down here, and it's going to pop up and ask me if I want to replace them or append them, which means add all of them to the bottom of the ones currently showing. I'm going to go ahead and replace them since we're showing all of the possibilities. So hit OK, and now we have all sorts of things. So take a look at this. We have all kinds of shapes and symbols in here. We have a few animals, some paw prints, arrows, different types of arrows like bow and arrows and just pointy arrows. Different little textures. Like, I don't know if that's just like grassy textures. You have some banners, a trophy. There's a whole assortment, puzzle pieces of random things in here that you can use. So if anything, like if you just needed a wheelchair icon for like a restroom sign, there is one in there, and you can change that back to a fill if you want. In fact, a restroom sign might be like a blue color, so we're going to do a fill of blue and no stroke on that, and there you go. So as easy as that, you don't actually have to go create these things. There's all these custom shapes in here that you can use, and there's so many of them, and there's so many different ways that you can utilize this stuff. Just quick and easy if you need something like this. I know that, yeah, there's a recycle icon on here. If you just needed a quick, easy recycle icon, for whatever reason, that fill didn't work so well on that guy. Oh, that's because we created that on top of the other shapes. So that's one thing you might run into. Make sure you're creating shapes not on top of, because you're going to edit that shape. So make sure you have like your background selected or a different layer selected, and then I can go back and create that recycle icon in the same way. It's currently white. We'll change the fill to something like a green color. That would make sense. And then we can go back to the move tool and just move that around. So this is how you can create custom shapes. There's all sorts of custom symbols up here with the custom shape tool in Photoshop. If you guys like this video, make sure you like this video. Subscribe for more tips and tutorials. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.